Thank you, and good evening, everyone. Sarah, what a great job that she just did, and she is just one of the many talented Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. What an incredible privilege it is for me to welcome you here this evening. Now, I would certainly want to acknowledge and welcome members of the Federal Cabinet, members of Parliament, and of course, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The Prime Minister is co-hosting this evening's wonderful event, and I will assure you that he is a friend of Newfoundland and Labrador, and it is my privilege to welcome him back to our great province. Joining us as well are a number of our own cabinet members, as well as MHAs from across the great province of ours. We are also joined by a number of municipal leaders and community leaders, some of which even have characters based on them in the Broadway hit Come From Away. Speaking of that, I would also like to welcome the extremely talented cast of Come From Away. Now, I don't like to play favorites, of course, but we are certainly thrilled to have Newfoundland and Labrador's Patrina Bromley on stage with us tonight. But before I start talking about the incredible power of this musical and the tragic event that brought forward the actions that it's based upon, I want to welcome a truly amazing group of people. Ladies and gentlemen, with us this evening are representatives from the Canadian Armed Forces, the Red Cross, the Salvation Army, as well as first responders from organizations across Newfoundland and Labrador, including firefighters, police officers, and paramedics. These brave, selfless men and women are the first faces that people see when they're frightened, alone, or in distress. These first responders, well, they sacrifice themselves for their communities, and they bear the burden of that sacrifice long after they've hung up their helmets, their badges, their stethoscopes, and their volunteer vest. So I'd ask you to join me in a round of applause for these unsung heroes. "16 years ago, the world awoke to a treacherous act of senseless violence. And like others around the globe, the province of Newfoundland and Labrador shuddered. We felt the tremendous loss. We held our loved ones tight, we cried, we mourned for our neighbors. And then quite suddenly, this province and its people were put to purpose. As part of Yellow Ribbon campaign, Newfoundland and Labrador was a focal point for aircraft seeking a safe haven. Their passengers had no idea what had just happened. It was then that our province rose up to meet a need that was unanticipated and a need that was unprecedented. When passengers deplaned and walked across the tarmac, they entered a world they didn't recognize. They had no personal effects, no belongings, and no certainty of what was to come. But unbeknownst to them, they were about to avail of this province's greatest resource, our people. Stranded travelers from across the globe were greeted with open arms, with open homes of this province. And for days after 9/11, the actions and the goodwill of common humanity prevailed over fear and terror. Well, the media, they call it the miracle of Gander. But it didn't take long for the world to start talking about the heroes that live across Newfoundland and Labrador. But they weren't acting heroically. the rest of the world had just discovered our fundamental trait. When someone is in need, Newfoundlanders and Labradorians reach out. We always have, and we always will. The ordinary people of Newfoundland and Labrador did extraordinary things in the wake of September the 11th. We had to. It's in our DNA. And clearly, as we stand here tonight, some 16 years later, the world took notice. Come From Away has taken over the New York theater scene with the remarkable story of how during one of the darkest days in recent history, 7,000 stranded passengers found a beacon of hope in the unexpected kindness of the people of Gander and surrounding communities. The musical has won a Dramadesque Award for Best Musical. It's been nominated for 7 Tony Awards, and Christopher Hashley took home the Tony for the Best Direction of a Musical. I am so incredibly proud of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. I'm proud to be the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador. And it is with this great pride that I welcome the cast of Come From Away to this stage, and I welcome all of you here tonight. Prime Minister Trudeau, I know you've seen this show, and like myself, you have been moved by its music, its words, and its reception. So tonight, I hope you once again enjoy the display of the incredible, innate nature of Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. Now, I am told the first rule of the theatre is to leave the audience wanting more, and I am certain that the cast and the crew that are here tonight are up for the task. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.